Hello, I'm Tony from Bonner's Piano Centre, and this is my review of the brand new Kawai KDP120 entry-level digital piano. So around about 3 years ago, Kawai released the KDP110 model, which was the forerunner to the new KDP120. And at the time, in its price category, which was under £1,000, it was by far one of the best digital pianos on the market, simply because it just sounded so good. There'd never been a piano in that price point that kind of gave you that immersive experience. One of the reasons for that is that it has a 40-watt amplification system, and the KDP120 has retained that. So it still has that same great piano sound that we used to get with a KDP110, but they've brought it up to date with a few more modern features. And one of them, and I think this is superb, is that it's now compatible with Kawai's Piano Remote app, which is available for both iOS devices and Android as well. And what that means is that you can control the functions of the piano using the touchscreen on your tablet device or your mobile phone if you want to, rather than using the fairly basic control panel that you get on a piano in this price point. So you can get to all the functions without an iPad or an Android tablet. That's no problem at all. Just use a combination of pressing the buttons on the end and the keys. But if you do have one of these devices, it just connects completely wirelessly via Bluetooth, and you get a nice graphical representation of all the functions of the piano on your touchscreen. So let's start with some playing. I'm really pleased to say they've retained the same piano voice, which is the sound of the Shigeru Kawai EX Concert Grand Piano. So I'm just going to play you something using that piano sound, just so you can hear the quality of this piano, and bear in mind the price point that it's at. It really is a superb sound. So when you're thinking of purchasing a piano, there's nothing like actually getting your hands on it or seeing it actually in the flesh, just to make sure that it's going to fit into your household and that you actually like the feel of the keys. Now, you can come and do that at one of Bonner's piano centres. We have 3 showrooms. One is on the south coast in Eastbourne, one is in Reigate in Surrey, and one is in Milton Keynes. And you can see the KDP120 on display, and you can compare it with other pianos from different manufacturers, just to make sure that you're making the right decision when you're buying a new piano. So the KDP120 is available in 3 different colour options. You've got the rosewood finish, which is what I have here. There is also a satin black finish and a satin white finish as well. Now at Bonner's we offer various different packages that include piano stool and headphones as well. So check out the link in the description to this video, and it'll take you straight to our webpage where you can see all the different packages that we have on offer. So when you're choosing a digital piano, as well as the actual sound of the instrument, what's also really important is the feel of the keyboard. We call it the keyboard touch or the keyboard action. Now, the KDP120 is equipped with Kawai's responsive Hammer 2 compact keyboard. Now, that's similar to the keyboard that was found on the older model, but they've improved it because they've added some sort of foam pads to the mechanism, and it's a lot quieter. So especially if you're playing with headphones and there are other people in the room as well, you're not going to disturb them too much with the sound of the actual keys returning back up that you would find with some other digital pianos. But as far as the actual touch is concerned, it's a really nice feeling keyboard. Again, in this price category, you get plastic keys, whereas if you spend a little bit more money on a digital piano, then you start to get wooden keys as well, which give you a slightly different feel. But as far as a plastic weighted keyboard action goes, KDP120 is very, very nice to play. So as well as the sound of the concert grand piano, the KDP120 also offers 3 additional acoustic piano voices, and this second example that I'm going to play you a tune using is the sound of the studio grand, and it's a slightly smaller grand piano sound, a little bit brighter as well, and perfect for pop and jazz type music. There's also a really nice mellow piano sound which is perfect for light classical music. So as you could hear, there's a really good choice of piano sounds for playing different styles of music. But the thing you'll notice is as soon as you switch on the KDP120, you get that concert grand piano sound, and it's such an amazing sound, especially considering the price of the piano. Now finally, there is a 4th piano sound, and it's a much brighter type of piano sound, but really good for kind of rock or pop music. So if I select that, you'll hear it's got a lot more bite to it. But if you like playing sort of Elton John style music or perhaps some modern pop dance tracks, it's perfect for that. But just have a listen to this. So as well as acoustic piano voices, there's a whole range of other keyboard sounds. There's some really nice sort of classic keyboard voices, and this next example is the sound of, we know it as a suitcase electric piano. You might have heard of a piano brand from the 1970s called the Fender Rhodes, and that's what this is recreating. It's a very nice kind of bell type piano sound, and really nice for sort of soulful tunes or maybe even some ballads. So have a listen to this example. Now, if you grew up in the 1980s, you'll remember the sound of this next example, and this is the modern electric piano. Now this is a sound that was made famous on lots of ballads throughout the 1980s, but in particular by the amazing singer Whitney Houston. This sound featured on many of her early tracks, and I'm sure you'll recognise it. So that completes the roundup of all of the piano type voices that you'll find in the KDP120, but there are also a range of other sounds as well. And I found a great sound here. This is the sound of the jazz organ. Now, if you know anything about jazz organs, you'll know that they used to play the organ, but they'd put it through a speaker, which was a rotary speaker. So the speaker actually span round inside its wooden box, and it gave a very distinct type organ sound. Now, the KDP120 actually not only recreates that organ sound, it recreates the sound of the speaker spinning as well. So when I play a chord, for instance, if I press the left pedal, the soft pedal, you'll hear that it changes the sound, and it sounds like the speaker's rotating. Hear that rotating speaker there. So I'm going to play a famous piece of music that originally was played on that style of organ. And as well as jazz organ, there's a really nice church organ sound too. So in total there are 15 different sounds. I just want to show you the sound now of the string orchestra. So that was the introduction to a fairly famous Madonna song, but the reason I showed you the string sound was because you can actually mix or layer any two sounds you want together. So what I've got here is the sound of the piano, but if I select piano and strings, actually you'll notice I've taken away the iPad, so I'm using the control panel of the keyboard to do this. Now I'll have the sound of piano and the orchestral strings mixed together on every single key. So that's a really playable voice, and it's a lot of fun to mix the sounds together. So I'm going to play you a short piece of music using the piano layered with the orchestral string voice. So another one of my favourite sound combinations when you're layering two voices together is the sound of the church organ, but you mix it with a choir sound as well. So it gives you the sound of the church organ and the choir together. So here's a quick example of that combination. So the KDP120 has 3 pedals, just like you would get with a grand piano. You have your sustain pedal on the right, you have your soft pedal on the left, and in the middle you have sostenuto. Now, the final feature that I wanted to show you on the KDP120 is actually the recording feature, because this can both be a lot of fun, but also it can be a really good practice tool as well. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you can use it in a practice context. Now, when I was learning piano with my piano teacher, I was always told to practice one hand first and practice the other hand separately, and then put them both together. Now, the record feature is great because it enables you to record your left hand. You can then play that back, and whilst you're listening to it, you can practice your right hand as well. So it just makes practice a bit more fun, really. So what I'm going to do in this next example is record my left hand first of all. So I just press the record button. And now I'm going to replay that recording and practice my right hand to that piece of music. Now, the other way that you can use the onboard recorder is actually to record yourself playing a duet with yourself. So what I'm going to do in this next example, I'm going to play the bass part to a duet, and then I'm going to play the melody part whilst I'm listening back to the recorded part. So first of all, I press record and I record the bass part. And now I'm going to play back that piece I've just recorded, and I'm going to use both hands to play the right hand too. So I'm actually playing a duet with myself. So of course, if you're buying a digital piano, one of the reasons people choose a digital piano over acoustic is because you can either turn the volume down a little bit lower if you want to practice, or you can plug headphones in so you don't disturb anybody else in the household. Now, the KDP120 has a new feature. When you turn the volume down low, it actually changes the tone of the piano slightly, so it responds differently when the volume is turned down low. Some people have commented on digital pianos from many manufacturers that when the sound is down low, that you need a slightly different response to still get the same enjoyment from playing the piano. And Kawai have listened, and they have changed really the character and the tone and the way it responds when the volume is down low, so you still get an enjoyable playing experience even at low volumes. When you plug headphones in, it uses Kawai's spatial headphone technology, which kind of gives you a more sort of ambient or almost surround type sound through your headphones. It just means that if you are having to practice using headphones, it's still an enjoyable experience. There are 2 headphone sockets, so 2 people can enjoy the sound of the piano at the same time when they're both listening using headphones. Kawai even make their own headphones for their digital pianos. They're called the SH9, and they're really good quality headphones. So if you're thinking of using headphones quite often or a lot with your new KDP120, it's well worth investing in a nice quality pair of headphones like the SH9s that are made by Kawai to match their digital pianos. So that brings me to the end of my review and feature demonstration of the KDP120. I must say it's a really great piano. They've basically taken the older model, the KDP110. They've kept the same kind of principles, the same sound, still a nice touch, and a really full-bodied amplification system, which at this price point you don't often get something that really sounds this vibrant, I suppose is the best way of putting it. And the fact that you've now got 3 colour options, there were never 3 colour options in the UK of the older models. So the KDP120 has really affirmed its place in that price category of under £1,000. It sounds fantastic, it looks very nice, it plays great, and the fact that it's now got the compatibility with the piano remote app for iOS and Android devices means that it's right up to date, and it makes working the piano or using the functions very easy. So I really would recommend this if you're looking for an entry-level digital piano, but please do come down to one of Bonner's showrooms so you can actually try it yourself. You can also order online as well. You won't be disappointed with this particular instrument. I think it sounds fabulous, it really does. So if you need any help choosing a digital piano, then please do get in touch. You can either call us or email us. Our staff are always on hand to help you ensure you choose the right digital piano for your needs that suits exactly what you want. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in another one of my piano demonstration videos.